Most people struggle with money not because they don't make enough, but because they don't know how to manage it. In this video, I'm breaking down 15 powerful personal finance tips that can completely change the way you handle money and help you build real wealth and freedom. Let's dive right in. Have you ever bought something just so people would think you're doing well? Maybe it was that expensive car, those designer sneakers, or even paying for a night out you couldn't really afford. We've all been there, and trust me, it's a trap. Here's the harsh truth. Spending to impress others doesn't just drain your wallet, it doesn't even work. Most people aren't paying attention. They don't care about the logo on your shirt, the watch on your wrist, or whether you're driving the latest model car. And the few who do notice, they'll forget about it in a week. I'll give you an example. I had a friend who leased a luxury car as soon as he got his first good job. He wanted everyone to see him as successful. The car looked great, but behind the scenes, half his paycheck was gone every month, he had no savings, and constant stress. The image of success was costing him the reality of success. And that's the point. The only person left carrying the weight of those bills is you. The people you're trying to impress aren't contributing to your rent, your debt payments, or your financial stress. So instead of spending money for recognition, spend it on things that actually matter to you, things that bring joy, growth, or security. Build an emergency fund, invest in your future, or treat yourself to experiences you'll truly remember. Because when you stop spending to impress others, you finally get to use your money for the one person who actually cares, you. One of the most powerful principles in personal finance is simple. Live below your means. This doesn't mean depriving yourself of everything or never enjoying life. It means making sure your lifestyle always costs less than what you earn. Why is this so important? Because wealth is built in the gap between income and expenses. If you earn a great salary but spend every dollar, you're not actually moving forward. The people who build lasting wealth aren't the ones with the flashiest cars or the biggest houses. They're the ones who consistently spend less than they make and put the difference to work. Living below your means gives you options. It frees up money to save, invest, and build security. It gives you a cushion for unexpected events like job loss, medical bills, or economic downturns. And most importantly, it accelerates financial independence because every dollar you don't spend is a dollar that can grow through investing and compounding. Think of it this way. When you control your lifestyle, you control your future. Instead of chasing status or keeping up with others, you're buying yourself freedom, stability, and long-term wealth. Your environment has a massive impact on your financial success, and that includes the people you spend the most time with. Whether you realize it or not, their habits, beliefs, and attitudes about money directly influence your own. If you're surrounded by people who constantly overspend, complain about money, or see debt as normal, it's easy to adopt those same patterns without even noticing. On the other hand, when you spend time with people who are disciplined, intentional, and focused on growth, those behaviors naturally start to rub off on you. This is why your network is one of your most valuable assets. Being around financially responsible people keeps you accountable, challenges your mindset, and pushes you to aim higher. You start having different conversations, not about what's on sale or the latest purchase, but about saving, investing, and building wealth. The people you surround yourself with also set your standards. If everyone around you lives paycheck to paycheck, that becomes your normal. But if you surround yourself with people who value financial freedom, saving, and smart investing, that becomes your new baseline. So be intentional with your circle. Choose to spend more time with people who inspire you, who manage money wisely, and who are working toward long-term stability. Because in the end, your financial habits don't exist in isolation. They're shaped by the company you keep. Few decisions will affect your financial future as much as the partner you choose to share it with. A relationship isn't just an emotional bond, it's also a financial partnership. And if you and your spouse aren't aligned when it comes to money, it can create stress, conflict, and even prevent you from building lasting wealth. Financial compatibility doesn't mean you need to earn the same income or think identically about every expense. What it really means is that you share the same values, priorities, and long-term goals around money. If one partner is focused on saving and investing, while the other spends without limits, you'll constantly be working against each other instead of building together. This is why open and honest conversations about money early in a relationship are so important. Talk about your approach to saving, how you view debt, what lifestyle you want, and your vision for the future. When both partners are on the same page, money becomes a tool to strengthen the relationship rather than a source of constant tension. Financial compatibility also creates unity. Instead of fighting separate battles with money, you operate as a team, combining resources, making joint decisions, and supporting each other's financial growth. This teamwork not only builds wealth faster, but it also deepens trust and stability in the relationship. The biggest secret to building wealth isn't chasing quick wins. It's thinking in decades, not days. When you invest for the long term, you give your money the chance to grow through the power of compounding. Here's how it works. Let's say you invest $10,000 into the stock market. Historically, the stock market has returned about 7 to 10% a year on average. After 10 years, that $10,000 could grow to around $20,000. But if you leave it for 30 years, it's not just doubled, it could grow to over $80,000. That's the magic of compounding. Your money earns returns, and then those returns earn even more returns. This is why legendary investors like Warren Buffett often say their favorite holding period is forever. Buffett has held companies like Coca-Cola and American Express for decades. Not because they made him rich overnight, but because steady growth over years created massive wealth. Long-term investing also helps you ride out short-term noise. Markets will rise and fall. There will be recessions, crashes, and booms. But history shows that over time, markets recover and reach new highs. For example, after the 2008 financial crisis, many people panicked and sold, but those who stayed invested saw their portfolios recover and then more than double over the following decade. The lesson is simple. Short-term trading is like gambling, but investing with a long-term mindset in solid companies, index funds, or retirement accounts gives compounding the time it needs to transform small, consistent contributions into life-changing wealth. So don't ask, how much can I make this month? Instead, ask, what will this be worth in 20 or 30 years? Because the answer is usually a lot more than you think.
One of the biggest myths about investing is that it has to be complicated. Wall Street wants you to believe that you need complex strategies, expensive advisors, and constant trading to build wealth. But the truth is, simple investing strategies often outperform the so-called sophisticated ones. Take index funds as an example. An index fund is a basket of stocks that tracks a major market index, like the S&P 500. Instead of trying to pick individual winners, you're investing in hundreds of the largest companies at once. This gives you diversification, keeps costs low, and takes the guesswork out of stock picking. Here's the kicker. Studies show that over the long term, most actively managed funds, where professionals try to beat the market, actually underperform basic index funds. In fact, Warren Buffett once made a famous bet that a simple S&P 500 index fund would beat a group of hedge funds over 10 years. He was right. The index fund crushed them, delivering much higher returns with far fewer fees. The lesson is clear. You don't need complexity to succeed in investing. A couple of low-cost index funds, like a total stock market fund and an international fund, can give you global diversification and strong returns. You don't need to check them every day. You don't need to understand every piece of financial jargon. You just need patience and consistency. By keeping investing simple, you save money on fees, reduce stress, and give yourself a much higher chance of long-term success. Because at the end of the day, investing isn't about looking clever. It's about growing your wealth.
One of the most important pillars of financial security is having a strong cash reserve. This is often called an emergency fund, and it acts as a safety net for the unexpected. Life will always bring surprises: job loss, medical expenses, sudden repairs, or family emergencies. Without cash set aside, these events can completely derail your finances. A proper cash reserve usually covers 3 to 6 months of living expenses. That means rent or mortgage, food, utilities, insurance, transportation, and any essential bills. By having this money available, you protect yourself from having to rely on high-interest credit cards or loans when life takes an unexpected turn. Beyond the practical protection, having a cash reserve also gives you something equally important: peace of mind. Knowing that you have months of expenses ready to cover emergencies reduces financial anxiety and allows you to make decisions from a place of stability, not desperation. A strong cash reserve is also what allows you to invest with confidence. When you know your short-term needs are secure, you won't feel pressured to pull money out of long-term investments every time an unexpected expense comes up. This keeps your long-term plan intact while still giving you the flexibility to handle whatever life throws your way. Think of your emergency fund as the foundation of your financial house. Without it, everything else is at risk. With it, you have stability, resilience, and the freedom to focus on building wealth rather than constantly putting out fires.
Quick pause. If you're getting value from these tips, do me a favor.
Hit that like button so more people can discover this video.
High-interest debt is one of the biggest barriers to building wealth. Credit cards, payday loans, and other forms of high-interest borrowing drain your financial resources faster than almost anything else. When interest rates are 15%, 20%, or even higher, your balance can double in just a few years if you're only making minimum payments. The problem isn't just the debt itself, it's the opportunity cost. Every dollar you send toward interest is a dollar that could have been saved, invested, or used to improve your quality of life. Instead of working for you, your money ends up working for the lender. This is why paying off high-interest debt should be one of your top priorities. The return on eliminating that debt is guaranteed and often higher than what you could reliably earn in the market. For example, if you're paying 18% interest on a credit card, paying it off is the same as earning an 18% risk-free return. And that's something you won't find in any investment. Avoiding high-interest debt also gives you freedom. When your income isn't tied up in interest payments, you have more flexibility to save, invest, and pursue opportunities that move you forward. It reduces financial stress, increases your stability, and accelerates your path to wealth.
One of the smartest ways to stay consistent with money is to automate your finances. Relying on willpower alone often leads to missed payments, inconsistent savings, and emotional decisions. Automation removes those barriers by putting your financial plan on autopilot. When you automate your savings, a portion of your income is set aside before you even see it. This ensures that saving becomes a priority, not an afterthought. Over time, this habit builds a strong financial cushion without you having to constantly think about it. Automating your investments works the same way. By setting up recurring contributions into your retirement account, index funds, or other long-term vehicles, you take advantage of dollar-cost averaging. This means you're investing regularly, regardless of market conditions, which reduces risk and builds wealth steadily over time. Bill automation is equally important. Scheduling automatic payments for recurring expenses like rent, utilities, or credit cards ensures you never miss a due date, avoiding late fees and protecting your credit score. The biggest benefit of automation is that it eliminates emotion. You're no longer making financial decisions based on mood, temptation, or timing. Instead, you've created a system that consistently works in your favor.
Managing money isn't about cutting every expense or living a life of constant sacrifice. It's about making intentional choices. The key is to cut ruthlessly on things that don't matter to you, so you can spend freely on the things that truly bring joy and meaning to your life. This approach is powerful because it shifts the focus from restriction to prioritization. Instead of asking, how can I spend less on everything? The better question is, what do I value most? By answering that, you give yourself permission to enjoy your money without guilt, while still maintaining financial discipline. When you align your spending with your values, every dollar works harder for your happiness. You stop wasting money on meaningless purchases, and you start channeling it into areas that create real satisfaction. This makes your financial plan more sustainable because it doesn't feel like punishment. It feels like freedom. The balance is simple. Eliminate or minimize spending in areas that don't move the needle for you, and redirect those resources to the things that do. Over time, this creates a lifestyle that is both financially responsible and deeply fulfilling. Because in the end, wealth isn't just about accumulating money. It's about using that money to live a life that feels rich in the ways that matter most to you.
Cutting expenses is important, but there's a limit to how much you can save. At some point, reducing costs further begins to affect your quality of life. That's why one of the most powerful strategies for building wealth is focusing on increasing your income. More income creates more flexibility. It allows you to save and invest larger amounts, pay down debt faster, and accelerate your progress toward financial freedom. Unlike cutting expenses, where the gains eventually max out, your earning potential has far fewer limits. There are several paths to increasing income. It can mean advancing in your current career by learning new skills, negotiating raises, or seeking higher-paying opportunities. It can mean building additional income streams through side hustles, freelancing, or entrepreneurial projects. And it can also mean generating passive income through investments that grow and pay you over time. The key is to view income growth as a long-term strategy. Instead of only asking, where can I cut back, start asking, how can I expand my earning power? This mindset shift moves you from a place of scarcity to one of abundance. By focusing on increasing income, you multiply your ability to save, invest, and achieve financial goals faster. Because while saving protects what you already have, growing your income builds the future you want.
One of the clearest distinctions between people who build wealth and those who stay stuck is how they choose to spend their money. Wealthy individuals focus on buying assets, while struggling individuals often spend most of their income on liabilities. An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket. These include investments like stocks, bonds, real estate, or ownership in a business. Assets generate income, appreciate in value, or both, meaning they grow your net worth over time. A liability, on the other hand, is anything that takes money out of your pocket. Flashy cars, luxury clothes, and other status-driven purchases might feel rewarding in the short term, but they don't contribute to long-term financial security. In fact, they usually drain your resources through payments, maintenance, or depreciation. The key to financial growth is shifting your mindset. Instead of asking, what can I buy to look successful? Ask, what can I buy that will make me successful? Every dollar directed toward an asset is a seed planted for future wealth. Every dollar wasted on a liability is money you'll never see again. Building your financial life around assets creates a foundation of stability, cash flow, and long-term growth. Over time, your assets start working for you, generating income even when you're not actively working. That's how financial freedom is built, by putting your money into things that give back.
Financial literacy is one of the most powerful assets you can own. Unlike material possessions, knowledge doesn't depreciate, it compounds. The more you understand about money, the more confident and effective you become in managing it. The financial world is always changing. Interest rates shift, markets move, new opportunities appear, and new risks emerge. If you stop learning, you fall behind. But if you make a habit of constantly educating yourself, you stay ahead. That means reading books, listening to podcasts, taking courses, and yes, watching videos like this one. Every new piece of knowledge adds another tool to your financial toolkit. Over time, these tools help you make smarter decisions about saving, investing, debt management, and building wealth. And the best part is that financial literacy pays you back for life. That's why this channel exists, to break down money in a way that's simple, clear, and actionable. By consistently learning and applying these strategies, you'll be in a much stronger position to achieve financial independence. Retirement may feel far away, but the truth is, the earlier you start planning for it, the easier and less stressful it becomes. Time is the most powerful factor in building a secure retirement because it allows compounding to work in your favor. When you begin saving and investing early, even small contributions can grow into significant wealth over decades. The money you put away today has years to generate returns, and those returns continue to compound, multiplying your future balance. Waiting too long, on the other hand, means you'll need to save much more aggressively later just to catch up. Planning early also gives you flexibility. It allows you to choose the lifestyle you want in retirement, set realistic goals, and build a strategy that works at a steady pace rather than rushing at the last minute. It also protects you against uncertainty, giving you the freedom to adapt as markets, expenses, or personal circumstances change. Retirement planning isn't just about age, it's about freedom. By preparing early, you give yourself the option to stop working when you want to, not when you have to. It's the difference between having to work for money and having money work for you. So don't wait until retirement feels urgent. Start now, no matter how small the amount, and let time and consistency do the heavy lifting. Because every year you plan ahead brings you closer to true financial independence. The true purpose of money isn't to collect more possessions. It's to create freedom. Freedom over how you spend your time, the choices you make, and the life you design for yourself. When money is used only to buy things, it often creates a cycle of working harder just to keep up with expenses. But when money is used to buy freedom, it shifts the balance of power. Instead of trading all your hours for survival, you gain the ability to decide when, how, and even if you want to work. Financial freedom means you're no longer controlled by debt, bills, or the constant pressure of paycheck-to-paycheck living. It allows you to take risks, pursue opportunities, and spend more of your time on what truly matters, whether that's family, health, creativity, or personal growth. The real value of wealth is control. Control over your schedule, your environment, and your future. And that control comes not from endless consumption, but from intentional choices and disciplined financial planning. So remember, money is just a tool. The goal isn't to have more things, it's to have more options. Because the greatest purchase money can ever buy is the freedom to live life on your own terms. And there you have it. 15 powerful personal finance tips that can truly change your life. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Start small, stay consistent, and your future self will thank you. If you found this valuable, hit that like button, subscribe, and stick around for more simple, straight-to-the-point money tips. See you in the next one.